Mix it up, girl, put it in motion. Are you burning or dying? There's no compromising. Make up your mind, we're running out of time. It's so hard to try, but it feels one-sided. Just make up your mind, lay it all on the line. Soft deep, I can see the fire.
What's going on, guys? Happy Titty Tuesday out there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Bae-Chan After Dark. It's your boy, the Carty Experience here. What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
What's up?
What up? What up?
How y'all day going today?
It's been a day.
It's been a day. It's been a couple days. Did you have a hangover at all at the party, Pinky?
Yes.
Was it that bad?
Carty,
Get into it.
by the time that I finally laid down to go to bed and go to sleep, I wanted to fight you because you are the sole reason that I went to sleep at 5 a.m.
Not the sole reason.
Yes, you are.
I
Because
don't
you was on the most CPest of CP time for that particular event. Hey, I was gonna say, hey Aisha, hey Craig.
Not my fault.
Yeah, yes. Yes,
You got there when you got there.
We got there mad early, and we're part of the setup crew, which was cool, which was fine. We got to hang out. You know, that part was fine. But we got started so late, and I'm like, I know that these parties be lasting forever because she has to do orders afterwards, and orders go one by one or by couple. And I'm like, bruh, we gonna be here forever. And then it takes 2 hours to get from your house, or an hour and a half because there was less traffic. But it takes an hour and a half from your house back to her house, and then from her house had to drive 15 minutes to my best friend's house so that we could go get home and go to sleep. We ain't leave your house until 2:30 in the morning, my G.
That's normal.
Not when you don't live in the city.
That's normal. My parties usually end about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning anyway, so I think you did good. So
no. And then I had a hangover the next day, and her roommates were yelling at 9 a.m. And I'm like, I like y'all, so I'm not gonna cuss y'all out, but I'm not a morning person. And I didn't go to sleep until the morning. So the fact that I didn't go to sleep until the morning and it's 9 a.m. and y'all bitches are yelling, I don't care if this is your house. I will fight you in your house.
It ain't my fault.
It is.
But you had a good time though, right?
I did. It was really fun, actually.
There you go.
Five people in their own house is crazy.
Yeah, it is. The folks who did know, of course, the Carty Party that I've been promoting for a month with, our guests. I guess guest host on the show.
All the people you invited were
came
cool.
through. That was our first couples party as well, so it went really well.
Her couples cherry.
Yeah,
she does threesomes now.
It was really fun. It was really educational.
It was.
Learned a bit, laughed at Pinky a little bit, offer herself up as tribute, which is funny.
And it was great.
What did you offer? What did you do? Can you share?
So Nakia has these lovely new toys that promote for you to be held in place and at your partner's mercy. So I had a spreader bar on that had my ankles and my wrists. And I haven't been flipped around like that since college. Mind you, shout out to Nakia
Oh,
for being strong
not
enough
since
to be able to
college.
see that. I'm exaggerating a little bit. There's one specific person comes to mind from college who literally made my foot go woo, and I was like, oh, now it was very reminiscent of that moment.
Okay. I can live. I
Yes.
can live with that.
But so like the spreader bar was outstanding, very comfortable. Highly recommend if you are into a little bit of BDSM. Like held me nice and snug, but I wasn't uncomfortable at any point in time. Please do stretch before you put it on because you gonna be bent in half. And her flogger vibrator situation had me ready to end my celibacy in that moment. And I was like, what can I do? And then I
It
came
wasn't
back.
strong enough for me.
Question.
Yes.
Flogger vibrator situation?
Yes.
What exactly is this?
It's a combination flogger. So like
The end part is a flogger.
and the handle is a vibrator.
It's like a quilted vibrator.
I need links. I need links. I need links. I need to add that to my treasure chest of things. I need links.
I will make sure
I'll make sure I put the links on. I do have the picture of Pinky if you want me to put it up there.
You can. I don't mind.
Okay. This
but
is the bar. As you see, this is my basement, by the way.
She literally had me face down, ass up. And it was great.
And
well, this was right before I got flipped over. So she flipped me using the bar and rolled over it. Like
using the bar. What technique? No. I wasn't asking a question. I'm just like, that is
right.
It's cool.
Like I said, shout out to
shit.
Shout out to Nakia for being strong enough and like that. Also, how sturdy that bar was that they were. I got turned around like a rotisserie chicken.
Hey.
I was this close to buying it. I was like,
you should.
I'd like to be a rotisserie chicken.
Honestly, it was quite nice. So yeah, that was one of the highlights from the party. And like the flog, like you said, the vibrator is not super, super strong, but combined with the flogging and the position.
I didn't know she was gonna have so many damn toys. I thought she was gonna show off like maybe 3 or 4, but she showed off like 10, 12 different items. I was like,
it was a toy party. It's what she does. Like
I said, it was my first time.
Inventory.
Right. It was my first time, so I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, she's gonna do like we do on the show. Maybe go over like 4 or 5 toys and what's hot.
The show shows up in certain places, so she can only show off so much.
Yeah.
But at your house, and that wasn't even the full inventory. That was a piece of the inventory.
True, because I got the booklet. I was like, all this shit?
A lot.
God damn.
A lot.
And
that's not even to say the things that she's had over the years that have been since been discontinued. Because like I said, I've known Nakia for like almost 7 years now. So like stuff that she had when I first met her, some of that stuff is not in rotation anymore. Like you can't get it through the catalog. You got to know somebody that got it to get it. So I'm like, and some of it is worth it because she was like, she gave me 25% for the month because it's my birthday, and she was like, yeah, if there's something you want, I can find like, and there's one specific thing that I want that I had that broke, and she was like, oh, that's not made anymore, but she can find out if somebody has one. So I'm hoping somebody has one. Fingers crossed.
Well, I hope so. I know I got mine. I got myself a little massaging ball and some of that and Amped that we gave away at BlurCon 2 years ago.
I was gonna say, I need my little heart. I have a little heart. I got a little heart massager warmer thingy, and I'm mad that I left it at your house.
I'm sorry, you'll have it back by Saturday if you come through.
Yay!
Full party.
Hey, November. That bar was everything. The bar was everything.
Yeah, it was a good party.
It was fun. It was
for the first time. It was a good party.
We was cutting up. Gina won that with she got some sample or something that she won. Siren by Night, because she kept getting all the answers to the kinky cards.
I lost by 1. It would make sense like she'll just one up me on my best subject of being kink, and she just gets me. I was like, God damn it. But that shit was fun. I was surprised how well that turned out for the first time. I'm sure I'm gonna have more in the future.
Honestly, I mean, no, like I said, it was a good crowd. It was fun. The atmosphere was great. I think everybody was sufficiently lit. When I think the only person I noticed that was like dry was that dude that came in the he had the Nezuko t-shirt and he
Oh yeah, he
came
came in late.
and then he left, but he ain't say a word to nobody for real.
Yeah, that was my man. Who wanted to see what was going on. We
I
don't really
see
drink
it.
that much. Oh, look who it is! Here comes a new challenger.
Hi.
I ain't
Hey,
seen
Lala,
you in
how you
forever.
doing? Right, 'cause we missed you last week.
Traffic. I was not anticipating that.
LA traffic. What you?
It'd be like that. That is LA traffic.
Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that the crowd that it was it turned out, because usually when I have parties it'd be like 30 people plus, and then that
Which
would
I don't
definitely would
understand.
never worked out.
No, I was like, how would you have fit all them people in your house? Because your basement is
Yeah,
small. It's a nice basement, but it's small.
yeah, it wouldn't have worked out. So I'm glad how many people who showed up did.
Yeah,
Cause it was barely just enough.
just enough. We were
Cause
squeezed in. We
I
was real
had to fucking
close.
sit on the floor for a second.
I was gonna say everybody had to get to know each other and be real comfortable.
Right. But I'm sure I'm gonna have one more party by the end of the year, probably in December for my birthday.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that.
Cam, you have yet to say a word.
Oh yeah, well we didn't introduce
What do you
anybody.
want to say?
We
I
went
mean,
right
you
to the
usually have
party.
some
But
commentary, like
he usually would, but he wasn't there, so I
no, but I
understand.
mean, even with the picture, he ain't had no commentary. Like
There was pictures.
there was a picture.
There,
They're in
there
the
was
picture,
pictures.
but
I wasn't there. There's nothing for me to really say.
no. Well,
I
your
wasn't
friends
there
fine.
either, but I asked questions.
right. Be curious.
No,
Well, I'm sure there was no sex toys.
they had a demonstration and drank. And there's some music maybe. I don't know if there's anything else really.
There's a pole in Cardi's living room.
Yeah, the poll came
Oh,
back.
I missed the poll.
There was a
And
pole in Cardi's living room
fell
that I
off.
fell down twice.
Oh,
You
no.
went to?
No, you went down pretty gracefully, I say. You went
Oh, thank
around
you.
and you just slid down the pole real slow,
Yeah.
like
Real slow, real sexy.
until you touched the floor.
So I need to get back into pole classes. I miss it. It was fun.
Well, did any of the rest of y'all have poles?
I don't have one anymore. I had to sell it when I moved. But I'll get another one.
All right, because I figure like you might have a pole because you're always
I
around one
did.
here and there.
I've had two poles. I had the one that is tension and it sticks on the roof, and then I got the one that is traveling. But over the course of time, I've sold both of them.
Boo.
Sure. I got the tension
I'll
one.
get another one. I've gotten my hands on two. It'll happen again.
Yeah. I know that I have access to one right now, but I don't feel comfortable using it because it's at my dad's house.
Yeah. Father overruled that. Like, no daughter of mine's gonna be in a pole in this house.
Well, he knows that I used to take pole classes and that it's great like exercise and like he's like
different.
fine with that part, but I'm like I
It's not a space where you feel
no.
Yeah, no devil poles in the living room.
No.
So
I understand that.
Should I have a pole party?
You should. I mean, well, you would have to move your couches, but yeah.
Yeah, I would. I guess I can fit like maybe 3 poles in the living room and dining room.
You totally could.
Yeah.
You have enough space between your dining room and your front door. You totally have enough space for 3 poles.
Something to think about. Oh, you Lala, you got a pole?
No. I'm trying to get Lala on the pole.
You should. It's fun.
I feel like I don't have the upper body strength.
Nope.
I don't either.
No.
So I can still do a little something.
I want to. I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a very, very interesting.
I'm gonna ask you, and this is for the benefit of anybody who's watching this, to leave that I don't have shit at the door. Like leave it out, because whatever it is you think you don't have, first of all, you have something else, and whatever you don't have, you will pick up, you will learn, you will build, you will figure it out once you start taking classes. So
I guarantee
there is no I don't have. You bring your body, and that's all you need.
Bring your titties.
I guarantee that you have more upper body strength than you think you do, because I found out that I have more upper body strength than I thought I did. And the thing about pole
I can
is
do maybe a good 4 push-ups.
that's fine. That's fine.
The same thing. That's enough.
I was like, the thing about it is pole isn't necessarily like pole does require strength, but there are a lot of moves that you can do that are purely built off of momentum. So long as you can keep a grip on the pole, you can swing.
Yep.
And don't forget about floor work too. I appreciate some good floor work.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't need to see every girl at the top of the pole because I think sometimes you be doing too damn much.
That's not.
I was gonna say my knees were definitely bruised after the demonstration, and I kept touching the insides of my knees. The next day, I was like, "Why did my knees hurt?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was in a spread bra."
I think one of those like regular central dance classes, where they be like do the video at the end of the class and stuff. I was so exhausted.
Oh yeah, it'd be a lot.
The class is only like an hour or 2 hours long. We're doing like the same moves, and I'm like, listen, if we get down on our knees one more time and have to.
That's why you gotta wear knee pads. The first and only floor class I took, I learned that lesson the hard way, and I was like,
all these girls there with their heels on. I was like, I need to take these off. Like I'm not at that skill level yet. Like,
here's the thing.
The heels do help with the pole, though.
Here's the thing, right? You need knee pads until you break your knees in. I don't wear knee pads anymore. And when I perform, I definitely don't wear knee pads.
No, they're not sexy.
Like you got level up your knees.
You just have to like burn like the nerves out. And I know that sounds crazy.
That is crazy. You gotta have you gotta earn the XP for your knees.
But it doesn't
level up.
Sounds worse than ballet.
It's just like
that's worse than figure skating.
Any other thing, right? When you start lifting, you're sore, and then you're not sore again until you up your weight. It's the same thing. Once you start getting down on the knees and start rolling around on that floor, it doesn't hurt as much as time goes on.
I guess.
I had a really crazy ass thought.
Like the way that my knees don't like me no more because of years of skate. Like I burned my knees out with figure skating, and they just have not recovered. And then I gained weight on top of like having bad knees from figure skating. I'm like, you want me to burn my knees out?
That gives you bad ankles too.
Yeah.
Actually, my ankles were stronger when like they've gotten weak because I haven't kept up with it. But like I had really strong ankles back in the day. Yeah. And actually, like the strength of my ankles is the only reason I was able to walk in heels because I can't walk in heels for shit. So I'm very clunky.
Now I used to walk in some damn heels.
I used to stilettos and me was friends back in like high school or very early college.
The
and then
higher the heel, the closer to
God. Yes, ma'am. Amen. Let me the church say amen. But like
I was an usher on the junior usher board. Ooh. And all we had to do was stand around in them hills all day. I was good.
She said, I'm here to show off, not for who you think I should be, but y'all gonna see these heels today. No, every presentation I had in high school in like freshman and sophomore year of college, I wore stilettos too because I could. And then my ankles and my knees gave out because I hadn't kept up with it. And I was like, chunky heels only from here on out.
That's like when I found the glory of a wedge.
I don't like wedges though, because I always feel like having that full platform along the bottom, I can't feel where part of my foot is. So it kind of messes me up when I walk even more. So I prefer just a chunky heel and a platform.
Okay, wait, okay, we're totally going off the rails. Me and Cam are just left in the back.
We're like shoot.
What the fuck?
Well, what heels do you like to see up by your face?
Right, or on swinging around the pole.
There you go. Now
I mean, give me some stilettos, at least like 5 inches.
5 inches.
5 inches. That seems a good height for heels on the pole.
That is average stripper heel height, but
right. I don't need you to be in wedges on the pole. That doesn't make any sense. That means you had too much to drink. And you just jumped on stage and just took over a pole.
If you
we ain't looking at your feet, honestly.
What'd you say, Cam?
We ain't look at your feet.
We're not gonna look at your feet at all.
No, they're like earrings because they.
The heels are accessories. Now your feet jacked, and definitely look at.
I mean, the hills definitely help
feet, yes.
when it comes hitting it from the back, because you're like, the higher height, easier
If you're
to.
tall as shit,
Right.
Well,
You
that's
6'7"
what I'm
shit.
saying.
I'm not getting hit from the back.
That's
No hills,
when
man.
that's
I
when the
gotta
hills
take the
help me
big
out.
slop.
in
I was gonna
life.
say
I can
that's
barely stand up with my flat feet.
I'm
I was gonna say,
5'10". I always have to take my shoes off.
I was gonna say we have like three very different heights here. Jiggly's
Oh
and
yeah,
Pie is
y'all
5'10".
tall. Y'all
I'm 5'8", and you're like 5'4". So even in 5-inch heels,
I'm
I
5'5"
don't.
and a half, ma'am.
Okay,
All right, sure.
sure, whatever makes you feel better, babe.
Half pound for short people.
Now y'all trying to steal my inch and a half away from me? Babe, they bullying me.
Don't start.
I was like, he ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't scared of him. He's 6'3", so I don't care.
I'm actually 6'5".
Whatever, it don't matter.
You right there with Carty.
We're all fight. Yeah, we're the same height.
Point is, I ain't scared. I will hop up to fight.
I
Okay.
ain't never scared.
And Ty's the same height, almost as Lala. She's 5'4.5". No, she'll tell me 5'5". So I appreciate the extra 5 inches in heels. It helps to get the thing going.
I was gonna say when there's that much of a height difference.
5-inch heel.
That expression. She said,
Like,
"Who
wait a
over
minute.
5 inches? Not I."
Nigga, let them calves pop.
It don't matter. Everything lines up in bed.
Cam, could you trust a girl
I'm
that
gonna
could
slightly disagree with that one.
When,
I'm gonna slightly
you're,
disagree with that
when you're
one.
laying down. Not
Cam,
Yeah.
could you trust a girl that could suck dick on her knees for a half an hour straight and not be bothered by her knees being messed up?
A half an hour straight.
She got to be 18 because I ain't met nobody over the age
If
of
you
18.
down there for a half an hour, something's wrong.
I mean, just give me a pillow.
Definitely.
Yeah, but like I don't think a pillow was originally included in his thought
A
process.
half an hour.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Cause you could tell a lot about a woman by her knees and how well they are.
Elaborate.
So some folks, like we were talking about earlier, like how your knees give way and like you really can't stand like your knees being on your knees for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone's really good at it, then they've been really doing something for a very long time.
Oh, so they have burnt out knees, is what you're saying.
So their knees are trained.
Right,
For this Olympic sport.
they can kneel down on cement and not complain.
Oh, not for me.
That's Hall of Fame though.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's the amount of weight that I'm about to put on my knees as well.
That too. It's the weight. It's the surface. Is the surface cushiony? Is it soft? Is it cold? Is it hard? Like
Cement?
cement is a skin shredder.
Tile.
Tile's
Carpet.
a little bit different.
Carpet, rug burn a little bit. Like rug burn does not affect her.
As long as it's not like cheap carpet.
I'm not gonna be on the cement in my knee. I'm gonna tear my skin.
I know
up.
I'm not there.
Cement is a skin shredder. I don't.
Right.
I don't even know why I can't have a pillow.
I don't want bloody
The
knees.
time limit he gave, I'm not standing for half an hour while you just doing
All right, 15 minutes. Let's say
Like, you
15,
can't stand for half an hour.
10.
If you're down there for a half an hour, you're bad at it.
That's not necessarily true. Or you can be really good at it.
You're bad at it. If I'm
No,
finished,
because some
and
guys,
if you're down for half an hour
not
and
their
finish one,
ministry. Like, they don't care about that shit.
I'm putting you on the bench. Get out of here. Get him out there.
But like, what if she's down there for a long time because you're struggling?
Where is this ministry thing?
Because standing up, like mental activity, you might be like your knees might be trying to go weak, your blood might have locked up in the wrong places.
I like how they're trying to spin it on us, like we're the problem because you're down there.
Yes, you're the problem. Because if I've been down here 30 minutes, why you ain't
there's three sides to every story, but in this particular case,
if I was malicious like I was in my 20s and got one off before going to her house, cool. I'm taking all that 30 minutes. But now I'm just like, I'm old, I'm grumpy, get mine. It's just like, I'm like,
What is this? What is this pre-nut before you leave?
You got
blasphemy.
You got to nut it off in your early 20s. You got to
get
nut
that
it
first
off
one
before
out the
you.
way.
Right. I want you to,
mean-
because especially if you're going like, if y'all going for a while, I don't want you to come in immediately because it's gonna take. What's your
Like-
recovery rate like?
Never,
That's why you give them a head first, so they can
never a day in my life.
No,
I'm
because the
just saying
recovery rate.
back when you in the day. Now it's just like you don't get what I'm going to serve.
Not once ever.
Now you're gonna get.
I would never cheat myself like that.
It's not
My
cheating.
My whole as it is, my whole respect level is higher than that. You're cheating yourself
Your
out the
whole
first nut
life.
just so you can last longer and get another nut.
Why not?
Nah, I'm getting all my nuts up front. I need that shit right here, son.
There we go. That's my thought process.
Yeah,
I want
I mean-
all the nuts. Don't leave one at home. Bring them all. Bring
This is
all.
That's
Of them.
right.
Bring
Y'all
several.
talking like
Pack
these
your
exchanges.
spin a night
Like,
bag and bring all the nuts that you have because I want them. Give them to me.
Now you're gonna get whatever is coming out. You get all of that, but
Yeah,
back
you
then,
get the
was like, you
nut
don't
ass,
get-
the residual nut.
It was about me, but you know that's an experience level of just being in your 20s and just like
Okay, Cardi, Kim,
Mm.
when y'all have that downtime period between nut 1 and nut 2, where does your mind go so that you can get ready to perform again?
It's not like I'm psyching myself and smacking myself in the face like, nigga, let's go round 2. Let's do this. Splash some cool water on my face.
So full
Skin
Space
time.
Jam.
No, it's either we gonna go right back into or have the mindset to go right back to back. No downtime.
it depends on the girl actually. If it's new yams, then yeah, you going right back in there. It's just like if it's just like if it's old work, then might
She not working that second round now.
If it's
Maybe
old
you
work,
might
you
have to
gotta-
like lick a
you
nipple or
gonna
two
chill for a little
to
bit.
get yourself back in the game.
Lick a nipple or two for a little bit. All right.
I'd rather get herself off, honestly.
You want her to get herself off after she got you off?
Yeah, well, if I'm watching, then it might help me out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what I do anyway.
I don't know how I feel about that because
What
the way you
was
said it made it feel like you don't care.
Now I don't know how to feel about that. That's why I'm gonna open up now.
No, it's the way that you delivered it because
It sounded very. That's on you.
You want to be the tone police?
no, it's not. No, I'm not. Don't gaslight me. I'm not crazy for the way that I interpreted that because the way that you said it made it sound like you got yours. Now you don't care that she about to, like you gonna make her work for hers. You
It's
didn't
not
say
working for her. Maybe
if it
I
was-
like to watch you do that with yourself.
Yeah, but you didn't give that context at
Because
first.
you
We
made
had
it
to
seem
switch
like
that.
there was not about to be a round 2.
I never
No.
said that.
It sounded
That's
very
what you
much
said.
like
It sounded
that's
like you was
on
pulling your
you.
pants up and
Finish
bottom.
it up. I'm
here we
good.
go.
I
Round two
got
was up in the
one.
air at that
I got
point.
more. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch you, but
So I
you
can't.
have to
So
handle that.
I'm
Right,
allegedly,
like-
so I'm allegedly gaslighting her, but they're twisting my words.
No,
No,
I had
scenario
the
they
same
came up with.
interpretation.
That's what
She
that's
just
what
went
we
first.
got from
I had
what
the
you
same
said.
interpretation.
No, you
That's
didn't.
what I
Exactly.
thought you
You
meant.
absolutely did not. There's
We
no
all
way
thought
three of
the
you
same
just like,
thing.
yeah, that's
So
what you're
clarify.
talking.
Clarify.
I mean,
one
it
thing,
could go
clarify.
both ways.
Clarify.
It would be
Yeah.
one
That's not
thing
what you
if
meant.
I was the only one
Clarify.
who thought that, but literally all three of us thought the same thing.
Listen,
So-
if I go quit and you get your rose and do whatever you're doing, or you're playing with yourself, that could get me aroused to go to around to faster because I'm
Okay.
answering live
If
questions.
said like that, that makes
Or-
sense. That's
That's what
acceptable. But the way that you
Or
presented it the first time, sounded like you was about to go home.
or you just get
sounded like
yourself
you-
off.
I would
You
love it if
sounded
somebody in the
like the
comments
Arthur me.
would report in.
Sounded
and-
is crazy.
and say
Not
whether
what I
they
said,
thought
what I
what we
sounded
thought
like.
or understood what he was talking about the
Tone
first time.
matters.
I don't know. My life
And what did I
mission
say?
is
The tone
woman
police.
comes
That's
first.
exactly what is going on.
First and
Me and
always.
the
Woman
Twilight
always
Zone.
comes first.
The
Twice.
tone police.
Thank you, Cardi.
I'm gonna
that's-
need 2-3 notes tops before I can go get mine off.
See, Cardi
That's the
is
only way
lining
it
himself
works.
up to
Party's just
be.
like, I'm gonna satisfy y'all to some extent.
That's the way how I always operated. To this day.
It's a pretty good operating procedure.
That's right.
Right.
Never let me down. Put
Doesn't
others
sound like a
in front of
letdown.
you, they always come back. They never forget the Cardi.
Never forget the party.
No,
The Cardi
I
experience.
no, I would say in my younger years, even when I had good knees, I could never get over the rug burn of doggy style on the carpet. It was too
Does
painful.
anybody? Not unless you got a pillow underneath you.
Yeah.
So that rug burn was always worth it.
It was always worth it, but just the grind out.
I had
Right.
rug burn on my back.
Ain't no way any rug burn is any worth shit.
Rug
I remember
burn
getting
in
rug
like
burns on
the
my
middle
knees,
of
like
your back where you can't reach it
You
is
can't
literally
reach it to treat it, and it just.
ugh.
and you,
Oh my gosh.
I think I might have permanent dark spots on my knees because of the rug burn fucking I did in my early 20s. I'm ashamed.
Not ashamed.
I am ashamed because you fuck anywhere when you're younger because you don't like really have your own spot and you
This is
just
true.
always get
It
it.
is.
You always
This
get
is
it in
true.
where you could, no matter
What's
where
the
you are.
wildest, like most unorthodox, like the craziest place that you just like? If you look back on that moment, you're ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, just
playground.
the rug
A
burns, and
playground
the
Similar,
static,
a
the
park
static of
next to
the
a
slide
playground.
on the
next to the
playground.
playground. Were you
But
at
there
in
was
the
like there
car?
was some
That shit
intentionality
hurted
there
too.
because we intentionally brought a blanket because we knew what was about to happen.
Oh,
That's
y'all
even more
planned
static.
this.
Not
No.
really. It was sort of like we were in the car and then was like, let's go there. Bring that blanket. So not fully planned out. Like the plan developed there, but
But-
still that was probably like the worst spot. I also learned at the same time that I don't like car sex.
Valid.
At the
I
same
don't.
time, you risk it becoming a sexual predator, having sex on the playground.
That is true.
Why
That is
y'all?
true.
Why is the playground y'all go to?
It wasn't the go-to. It just had. It kind of.
It's just it was there at the time.
It
Well,
was a
it wasn't my
go-to.
go-to.
It al-
It was the
it wasn't-
person's. He picked the spot, and I was.
But-
just
It
like,
was also nighttime.
it
This is
was. It was.
crazy.
It was nighttime.
Like the accountability.
It does go
the
hand in hand.
accountability is crazy.
Nighttime at a kid's playground, no one's there. The parking lot's empty. It would be
Right.
the ideal place. But if one's
There
not
was
into car
trees.
sex, you're definitely making the transition over to
Like
the park
in the
bench.
park, it's kind of excusable. Like you could park anywhere, but like
I got
getting
caught by
out
a
the
cop
car,
once in the car.
That happened to me way too many times.
You got caught, and
Way too many times. Officer just like with the bright ass light, do because I had tint.
no,
I'm like, yo, you drawing? He's like, hey, keep moving.
Yeah.
no. Okay, so one time I'm in the car, we getting it in, windows hella foggy. We see the lights pull up behind us. We're like, oh shit! So we start getting dressed and shit, and we hear the knocking, but it wasn't at our car. It was at the car parked behind us.
That's
We
That's
like
right.
fully just like got out and walked away. Like,
You good, but in Philly, everyone's always parked up like every other car space. Everyone's doing the same exact thing. So when the cop comes by, he's knocking on each and every door if people don't move.
Y'all
It's
have
really-
like
it's really
street
fucking
where
drawing.
people park to fuck, or it's just like any parking spot is fuckable.
It's everyone knows like if you go like to like it's called Huntington Park,
So there's like certain spots.
oh,
like
it's a
the
spot.
the chateau, like it's the spot. Everyone go there, hang out.
no,
you know?
we wasn't in a spot. We was like outside of the house. Like
Oh, that's different.
No, we
I
were
was
in a
living with my
park.
parents.
The make-
No,
the-
we
the
were-
make
we
out
were in a
peak.
park after
Well, I was
dark.
living with my parents.
Inside the house not
He pulled up
included.
in his car.
I was gonna say the cop pulled up and he was like, y'all ain't gotta leave, like y'all ain't gotta go home, but like y'all can't do that here. So
Yeah,
I ain't hurting nobody, officer. Hating ass cop. Fuck
nah,
outta
he
here.
was just
heard
like, y'all
her
got
say
to.
out.
I would assume up by the Hollywood sign in LA would be like the makeout spot.
I feel like that's a spot for homeless
It's
people.
touristy.
It's very touristy.
It's touristy.
Even at night.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't want to go nowhere where people are constantly going to be driving around.
No.
But they do
Right.
have spots up on Mulholland Drive where you can kind of park and just.
Is that where all the prostitutes be?
Why are you inquiring about the women of the night?
Because they're
The
important.
night
You
walkers.
ain't getting no prostitute all the way up there in them hills.
I don't know. That's what I was
Nah.
asking.
Nah.
One thing I do
They
know,
think that
what
you about to
every
go
move in
get a
LA
body
taught me
bag.
that LA is filled with prostitutes. I played enough
It is.
GTA.
Yeah.
They're
No.
there, but
Where the hills
it's
are.
There's a
not.
prostitute on every corner.
They don't look like the way you would think streetwalkers look in like the movies and stuff. It's way more discreet.
I was gonna say they don't look around. They don't walk around looking like Pretty Woman. What's her
No.
face?
No.
Is it like
No.
Vegas? Because every person I've talked to in Vegas
There's
is a
two
prostitute.
kinds. There's the ones that don't look like they're prostituting at all, and there's the ones who look like they've been out there too long.
Too
Like,
long. Is
You might
crazy.
see somebody just walking around with a baby suit on.
They just walked around for 12 hours in the hot LA heat.
No, I
And
meant years. I meant like
You want a
they
good
like that.
time?
yes, the bathing suit and the wig is crunchy.
Walking
Um,
around
Not the
downtown,
crunchy, not the
everything
crunchy
fast,
wig.
selling
Yeah,
ass, and I'm
that one
home
has
now.
the crunchy wig.
And they stay with their regulars. So
I can't see who that is in the comments saying, "Hey, but hey, baby, I'm only here temporarily. I'm on this week and next week."
Yeah, we ain't talking nothing too crazy there on this day's show. I don't know, just all the movies and playing Grand Theft Auto. I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Even on like the strip
yeah, they do
or,
it better.
or
than
by
Red
the
Bull.
beach.
Even though I've seen many a hooker, it always like takes me mildly by surprise whenever I see them, especially when I'm like downtown in DC. Because like not because I don't be expecting it, but because it's either one, broad daylight and they look like they belong in the nighttime, or two, they just be looking crunchy. And it's like,
I would not trust a prostitute in DC on my life.
why?
No, you kind
Why?
of be looking at them like, who's paying for this?
First of
DC
all,
has
it's DC. There's
high-powered, expensive, like
cops everywhere. Everything can be a sting. I wouldn't trust. Most like it's a cop. I wouldn't trust that shit at all.
that's
Nah,
valid.
if the wig is not crunchy, it's probably a cop.
Yeah,
Like, her
no,
wig
that
too
is.
fresh. Her
What
wig
is up
too
with these
fresh.
crunchy ass wigs? I don't
So
understand.
it's like, okay, if the wig is like super fresh, but the outfit is crunchy, I would not trust it. You got to look
Oh, no,
crunchy the entire
Okay.
way down. Like,
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for ripped stockings or fishnets. That's the go-to look. I'm looking for it. That's what I'm looking at.
I mean,
that's
you
a
can rip
style
them
choice
yourself.
in DC. I don't know
It's
that you can
also a
use that.
style
As,
choice in LA. Like,
yeah, I was like, I don't know that you
No
can
one,
use
no
that
one
as
else,
a qualifier.
no one else in
I
life
never
wears it like that.
intentionally ripped my stockings. It was like I just wore them even though they was already ripped.
All the more runs in the stocking, the nastier she is, and the higher the price.
no, because then
Not how that
you got like the all emo folks who just
You
wear
cannot
like
work.
that or
You
cut
cannot be a woman
them.
of the night with stockings on. That's
Is
just
it,
not.
Not
is
unless
it
they're
harder? Is it
crotchless.
harder to run away from the cops?
No, they're impeding the access. Because if it's
Yeah.
got a crotch,
You gotta be able to get dressed and go.
yeah, you got to be able to run. So can't be trying to pull up no stockings or like have them around their legs and then they're gonna rip. Hey,
Going
y'all.
on, Trinity.
So
I just want to know what was the contingency plan with like a massive thunderstorm for the women of the night. You just
You gotta find
Hotel?
cover, just like how the
you
crack.
gotta get them. How do you get them if you're just out on the block?
hotel bars.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And they used to have Backpage.
There was
Yeah.
Backpage, but Backpage
Shout
got
shout out
taken
to the party
down.
line.
as of right now,
What was the
everything's
other
on
one that they
Instagram
had?
and Twitter.
I was on the party line on the hunt on the weekend.
I was like, Craigslist had a little thing going on for a while back in the early 2000s.
Oh, that was nasty work.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm coming in your area soon. Just DM me info and prices. I'm like, sheesh,
Yeah.
wow.
Shout out to the party line. You know, Philly.
Shout out to the nasty ass Philadelphia party line, where nothing good came of it.
I
you
love
get a rare gem in there.
I love that OnlyFans has a filter where people cannot type certain words like meet in the messages. Like if they want to meet you, they say, "Oh, can we meet?" You cannot say that. It will be like, "No, you can't send this message."
Wow,
Oh,
that's
damn.
cool.
That's horrible. They're hating ass.
Only
They don't want you to win.
Like, yo, she's trying to get her money. Like,
No, I don't want people asking to meet me. No.
well, I mean, it's optional. Maybe you want somebody to meet you, and then you try to get bread that way. Scallywag do got scallywag gotta do.
I would probably use Twitter.
Scallywag.
Scallywags. That's right. After the chicks I follow on Twitter, like, hey, I'm coming to your city next month. Hit me up for more details.
I
And
feel
then
like
she'll
it's
just
one
have,
thing
like,
to
a whole
set
bunch of
something up
videos.
for yourself and something else entirely to charge for it.
Look,
Like-
man, the whole business is a wild and crazy business, I tell you.
Can't say Cash App either? Dang.
Yeah.
what team?
I think the use for the pimp is now slowly losing its way. Pimping used to be an art and passed down like from father to son. That shit is ending. Shit's over. There's no pimps anymore.
Was
There's no
it?
more. There's no more players balls. The
Have
days are
women
over.
gained self-esteem in 2023? Or not that?
I don't think it's
Still
self-esteem. I think it's more just
That's
they have
not the right
gained
word.
better independence.
They still
Agency?
exist.
Agency maybe is the word.
I was like, pimping
Well,
was abusive in most cases. So if you work for yourself, then you don't have to be drugged out by.
Technology's cutting out the middleman.
That's right.
See,
Cutting
like
out the pimp.
pimping, it was supposed to be like it started as like, you know, like a safety thing because
Right,
you
protection.
go and you sit with
Right.
the John, and then they want to beat you up or rob you instead of paying you.
Paying you, right.
So that's
So you
what
had a
pimp was supposed to come in at, and then the pimp started taking the money. Like
And
your
beating
fee
you up.
is higher than what I'm making.
Yep.
Bitch, I made you.
What you mean? It's
I
pretty
can
much the same
unmake
way
you.
it is now. You got the net and the gross. So I mean,
Right. I mean, around the corner,
But you don't get
not too
punched
far
in
from
your
me.
eye.
There's still prostitutes and Johns, and pimps are around there. It's just a hood niggas really, but technically they're
Yeah.
pimps. They just sitting in their fucking Grand Marquis while bitches out there trying to get
the
these
Grand
dollars.
Marquis is crazy.
Yeah, man. They in the Crown Vics and the Grand Marquis over
More
by
than Ashley
Broad and Huntington Park.
Don't get in the crown in the Crown Vic car.
Crown Vic car is
That's
just as
a
likely to
Crown
be a
Vic.
cop car, though.
Right.
Not the way they be in them. Them don't be
I was gonna say
busting.
they're not here in DC in the DMV area anymore. Now you got to watch out for like the Ford F-150 trucks because they've turned those into cop cars.
Oh, that's a track.
I actually saw a CSI van the other day when I was driving on the highway. Thought that was interesting because I've never seen an actual CSI like van before. I've seen the big SUV. I saw a minivan that was a cop car.
The Chargers and the escorts.
Yeah, but I've literally seen a minivan that was a cop car. That one was
I've
weird.
never seen that.
That was weird.
You seen a soccer mom minivan?
Like, yeah, but it wasn't like the soccer mom minivan, but it was like one of the newer, nicer looking
The
minivans.
Dodge
like,
Caravans.
yeah, but it was like legitimately a minivan. And I was like, that's weird.
Like, bitch, this shit has died.
That's suspicious.
I can
I was
pick
like, I
up more
guess this
hoes
is
that
meant
way.
for the large crowd
Find
pickups.
that
When you gotta arrest multiple people at the same time. Like, I didn't understand
Gotta
it.
keep
But
your head on a swivel out here in these streets.
Well, not in Philly. It's just like it's the same cars, it's the same niggas.
Yeah, the cops don't even care. Cops don't even care anymore. Like, you do whatever you want, as long as you're not killing people. You got other shit to worry about.
Yikes.
But-
I always feel like when cops bother me that shouldn't you have other things more important to do?
I
Oh,
don't know.
the
It depends on what I'm
petty
being bothered
shit.
for. Like, if I'm being so my mom and I had to take my mom to a doctor's appointment on Thursday, and a cop ran my tags. And it was in the most obvious way ever that he was running my tags because we were at a light, and then he pulled up on the left, but he pulled up mad far because he was in the turning lane, and it like the top of the lane was here. He was back here just behind my car. So I'm like, you're obviously running my tags. But the only reason he ran my tags is because I still have South Carolina tags. I don't have Maryland tags yet. I'm working on it, but I ain't got them yet. And I'm like, I'm literally just sitting here at a light being a law-abiding citizen. What do you want from me? Like, why are you running my tags?
Nothing. You're black. I'm running
Literally.
Like, you sure about
running your
that?
fucking plates. That's one thing I hate about this off.
I'm like,
Yeah,
mind you,
yeah,
I drive
Rolling plates.
I drive a Mazda, so it's not like I drive something that looks suspicious and or weird. So I'm like, you literally have no reason to run my tags besides the fact that I have out of state tags.
I forgot we started so late, so I don't want to run off into other things
Right.
like we've been doing. So
Right.
the second part of what we're supposed to talk about, other than the fucking party, is fan fiction, fan made
Yes.
fiction, which I appreciate because people who write these stories, they care just about the main characters or the plot of the original story as much as I do. So having
No,
their
they
own
don't.
what if?
No,
Yes,
they
they
don't.
do.
No, they don't. every fanfic is
Well,
a
everything
rewrite
I've
of the
read.
story because they hate the original storyline. They care
The thing
about the
is,
characters.
they
Good,
love
bad,
it. They
or
love the
care about
characters
the
so much.
characters.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like they care about the characters so
the
much that
characters,
you
yes.
know
The storylines,
the
no.
what ifs.
They
I
don't give
like
a
the
fuck about
like the
this.
what ifs.
I'm like, man, if I was doing it,
No, really though. I've seen rewrites to fix things. I've seen fix where they were like, no, absolutely not. What you did was terrible as the author. This is how it should have ended so that everybody would have been happy. I've seen those. I see the
Yeah.
alternate universes.
I haven't seen as much as like the last Airbender. Folks has been changing that story around so
I
goddamn
actually
much.
know a really good smut one for Last Airbender that pairs Azula and Aang.
Oh,
Really?
Lord.
I would
Yeah.
like to read that.
I'll send you a link. It's
Share it with
literally-
the class because that's what we're doing today.
It's literally called Smut, and it's them
That's
aged
just
up like a few years after the like ending of the show or whatever. Like they're all adults at this point, but like Aang and Azula are having a very secret affair, and it's pretty
Wow.
well written.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
What a
like,
shit.
and it gets pretty detailed. So there's that one. Then a personal favorite of mine, Fourth Avenue Viewing, which is a Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen self-insert fic that is an AU where he is a criminal investigator that goes to a university to give a lecture, and the character that is the self-insert is a student who ends up with an internship, and it follows their like relationship, and that is some lovely smut with a plot.
I feel like I never
That
find
sounds like that has
smut.
mad chapters to it.
I find the weird shit like Marge and Homer Simpson.
That one was so funny.
Marge and Homer Simpson. Jesus,
I have a real quick question. Self-insert, does that mean it writes you into the story?
Yes. So in that particular one, the female character does not have a name. He only refers to her by like you or baby or like pet names or whatever. And like there is a little bit of description that kind of like describes the body of the character, but for the most part you can kind of ignore it and like put in whatever mental image you want for this story.
she's like, that's me.
Literally, which is the whole point of the self-inserts. So that one is lovely. It's great. And I'm very picky about my self-inserts because some are really good, like that one. And then some of them are really bad because you can tell that it's written by a white author. And like, there's nothing wrong with that.
They be
But at the same
ruining
time,
it though.
It could take
I'm like-
you out of it mentally.
Don't
They
tell
ruin
me
it.
it does. It takes you out of it mentally. I'm like, don't tell me that he wrapped his hand in my silky straight auburn hair. Because baby, that ain't
Not
it.
the Auburn.
Like, it's not it. It's not doing it for me.
You
anymore.
get yourself a little Auburn wig and you good to go.
If I have to glue it down, I don't want it in the story. So, like, but I am a connoisseur of the fanfic. Been in this life for a very long time.
Good,
was
because
out there
I
writing
only
women's-
read a couple of my whole entire life.
No, I have been reading fanfics since I got on the internet. And I got on the internet when I was like 10. So,
Yeah, you're the expert. You're the expert here.
I am definitely new to
90%
fanfic.
of it's smut.
I knew it existed, but I hadn't like kind of like delved into it myself. Earlier this year, I went to a show. Lala was at that show where a bunch of people read fanfic. Most of them were comedians, so there were like
That
side
was
jokes and
hilarious.
comments. It was funny, but it was also there's some of them that were really good, and there was a couple of them that like it was so like outlandishly written that it kind of took you out of like the imagination of the story. But there was someone who I believe they created it, but if not, they did a good job because I felt like they did. It was Marge Simpson's diary.
Oh yes, I remember.
Hilarious.
The
That
amount
sounds
of stuff that
The one that
focuses on
stood
the
out to
Simpsons
me
is
that
weird.
night was the Lion King.
The
The Lion King was
Lion
funny.
King.
The Lion King was funny.
Nala was
Especially
giving them
since the
Tim's ass.
author, the person who was reading it didn't
Nigga,
enjoy that type of material.
And I think he
So-
hadn't seen the actual Lion King.
Yeah. Those
He
How
hadn't
nice.
seen the actual Lion King, and he was reading the Lion King smut. Like,
and he also did not like smut. Like he's not smutty
It
and
was
kind.
so uncomfortable. It
Super
was so
funny.
hilarious.
That is wild. I like there's two sides to every like thing. So like there's always going to be the really great, exceptional, well-written fanfics, the ones that really suck you into the storyline. They may or may not be smutty, but you're in it. And then there's the ones that are really bad because I've read my fair share of those as well. And like one that comes to mind that's a really good one that's not smutty is actually for Avatar, but Avatar with the blue people.
Oh,
And it's this particular one is called One with the People. I don't know if it's still up on the internet because I think fanfiction.net got taken down and that's where it was. So I don't know if the author moved it somewhere else or what. But that one was everything. That story is everything that I wanted the second movie of the Avatar to be. Like that fanfic was so damn good that I was severely disappointed watching the second movie because it wasn't that book, that fanfic. Like that's how outstanding it
we
was.
should have hired you.
They should have gave that to James
Why am I
Cameron. What's
watching
up?
these water people?
The author took a 10-year hiatus on that particular fanfic. And when she started updating it again, the way that I sped to read it, and it was just as exceptional as 10 years later as it was initially. And I'm like, the fact that she hasn't finished it kills me. Like, it breaks my heart that it's not
The
done.
waiting 10 years is crazy.
That's how good it was. And mind you, I reread it several times during the 10-year period. Like,
Rereading it.
Damn.
outstanding.
That is crazy.
Outstanding.
I've never.
I wonder if she had any personal work that she got. Like, damn, why are you
I don't
spending time
know.
writing fan fiction? Write something for yourself.
The way that I would read her books in a heartbeat because her fanfic was so damn good. I really would.
And the
Shout out
thing
to all
is,
the
some of
fanfic
these
authors
people
out
who write fanfics, they don't use their real names. So
No, they don't.
They can create, cultivate a cult following for their fanfics, and then not have nobody buy their real books.
Unless they tell their following that they have an like author pseudonym that is on their books, they're not gonna. You're absolutely correct. So
That's
I
crazy.
remember I used to spend a lot of time on Wattpad.
Yep, Wattpad. Actually, one of the authors that I used to follow adamantly on Wattpad has gotten her books published on Kindle Unlimited, and she has a cult following. So I'm happy for her.
I'm so happy for her too. Wattpad used to be so great. I feel like it's not as great.
Are you
as
saying WAP-pad? W-A-P? Like,
WATTPAD.
oh,
Wattpads.
I'm not eating. I'm sorry.
The Wattpad.
It's just my last bite.
Wattpad sounds fire.
It'll get you where you go. I don't like the way that they've changed the app and like the way that the platform is now. It's like you got to pay for stuff. I'm like, it used to be
You're
free.
paying for everything.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like that.
Oh, y'all ain't trying to pay?
let me ask you all this.
The thing about fan fiction is
I'm
it's not
all
meant
about
to
like
pay
you know
for it.
paying. If I pay for your book, that's fine. I'll pay for your book one flat price. But if I have to pay per chapter,
no,
That's
it's not
a
a
transaction.
It's not a webcomic. I'm not paying per chapter for fan fiction. Absolutely not.
That's what I was about to ask you. Well, how do y'all feel about webtoons and how far has it come so far? Because there's been a lot of good, successful webtoons that actually got created now. So
they have
picked up.
I was going to say Webtoons, the app, I don't mind so much because there are certain ones that I'm like, I absolutely have to continue reading this past what chapters are free. But the majority of them, I'm cool with like just reading them on a weekly basis. Or I also am a terrible, I fully admit this, and I feel kind of bad about it, but at the same time, I ain't got that much money to be spending on Webtoons. But I am a full-on webcomic pirate. I will go Google the name of a comic and find it for free on the internet because somebody's taken it and put it on the internet for free. Now, I am really picky about my translations, though. So if the translation is bad, I'll just either pay for the chapters or I'll wait. Like my best friend just got me hip to Tapas. And Tapas will give you a certain number of episodes on most comics for free, or they're like wait until free. And you gotta wait like 2 hours for each chapter to be like, once you read a chapter, 2 hours from then another chapter is made free. So like that I don't mind doing, but a lot of those I will go Google it and see if I can find the free version. That way I can binge it and like get through it quickly. But like I don't mind paying for certain things, but then there's other ones that I'm like, nah, I don't care that much. But it also is largely dependent on how good a translation I can find on the internet. If I can't find a good translation,
definitely Googled one of those Facebook werewolf stories.
Well, just because you said that, I'm gonna go ahead and post this in the public chat so everyone has a chance to read it. So if you are looking for, like, I'm a big comic book reader, so I don't really do a lot of fan fiction, but I do keep up with my comic books when I have the time. That is a site that I use to get all the comic books. So Dark Horse, Marvel, DC, even some graphic novels are on that website. So if you have something that you're looking for and you can't find it, check that website first.
Thank you
And
very
see
much.
if they have it.
Thank you very much, because I recently decided I wanted to read like the entirety of Batman.
Oh,
I've never
they'll
been
have it.
interested in DC comics. Like I didn't read comics growing up. I didn't have access to that stuff because money. And so I didn't develop a thing for it when I got older. I always appreciated the art styles though. And I've not to say that I've never read a comic before, but it just wasn't my thing. And so recently I saw they did a docuseries on DC on HBO Max. It made
I saw that. That was good.
way more interesting to me than it had been previously. I've always been like more of a Marvel girl, but Batman's my favorite DC character, and now I want to check it out. And so I've been trying to find a place to actually like get started and read everything. And
that would be a place to start. It's like if you're going to start reading Batman from start to finish, it's like say I'm going to watch One Piece.
Yeah, I know. I looked at, I saw.
You got 50, 60 years of comic books you got to read.
How many different iterations? I know. It might be the only comic series I ever read, but I'm going to start Batman.
You're going to go back. She going back to the 40s and just like go all the way up.
Detective Comics. Going to start there.
Yep, that's one. That's where I want to start.
All right.
I did it with Dragon Ball, and I watched everything.
Trust me, it doesn't get good until you get to the 80s.
True.
Because especially with like comic books,
just go
especially
to
with the big characters.
I was gonna say she could just read Scott Snyder's run and just like be good.
I want to read everything. I want to read everything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's like a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of different artists, a lot of different writers. So then there's a lot of different stories, but like they're all
so many arcs. So many
but
arcs.
Not all of them. You do have to know what's canon and what's not, because there's a lot of spin-offs within DC and Marvel that are not canon to the main storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not good, but they're just not canon.
Just like Marvel, like Earth 616 is DC Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3. So there's a
there's also there's a lot of branch off universes where they do crossover between Marvel and DC, and there's some of those are canon. Like Scarlet Witch is the only character that shows up in DC, Marvel, and one other universe as herself. She is always Wanda. I forget what her.
She's obnoxiously just like overpowered. I mean,
she is. I still like her more than I like Jean Grey though. But
no, I'm saying because Jean Grey did a couple of crossovers.
Jean Grey can catch a boot up her cooch. I do not like her.
Boot up the cooch.
But yeah, Scarlet Witch is the only character that appears across 3 different universes as herself, as the same character each time.
I feel the Jean Grey character would be a nice fix for this show because she's living in a open relationship now. You know what I mean? So
is she, or is she just cheating and just saying that it's an open relationship? Because
they all got together and said we all gonna.
I mean, if they know about each other.
Wolverine and Cyclops shook hands and they all decided to just fuck her. So
they did. So they're living in a commune now.
I think he's just down bad at this point. My guy.
It's fucking hilarious though.
Cyclops was the goat of just like
got that boom boom.
I'm gonna knock you down, but if Gene come back calling, he's gonna be a single parent, which he did do that. Was shout out to him.
Also,
it's crazy. Because why would you do that? Had a happy marriage and child, and then Gene came back and like
he's fucking Scott Summers.
He was with the Gene clone, and then realized real Gene came back. It's just like
It's not the
Gotta
same.
go.
I'm like,
I mean, like, if you think about it, like, if you're messing around with like a mind reader, they know exactly what you want.
But I gotta
fucking
go. Take care of
I
this
would be
baby. I gotta go.
it's
But
writing
it's the
for
same
you.
thing. It's just that's the original, and it's like the original has so many issues. Why would you choose the problematic one when you've got a happy one right here? Like,
Because
make
it's not the
sense.
same.
It's not the same.
The toxic doesn't taste the same. Same thing that happened with Spider-Man when Peter found out Mary Jane was a clone. He was like, I gotta find my real bitch. Fuck
And
this.
that's
one.
not even
Tight
I'm
bitch.
so aggravated with Spider-Man going back to Mary Jane so many months, and that's not even the love of his life. I'm like, nigga,
Gwen
wake up.
Stacy is the better girlfriend.
Black Cat. Black Cat is actually.
Iconic girl.
Yeah.
Everybody hates
Black
Black
Cat
Cat
really
is
is.
a girl to be with.
Black Cat is top
No,
tier.
and I did read some fan fiction about Black Cat and the Scorpion. It was actually really good. That's like the only thing I can really remember. It was really,
Now,
really fucking
when you
good.
get into the anime sector of fan fiction, it just gets nasty work at that point. It's just like y'all niggas is sick.
Some
Oh
of
yeah.
it is a little, yeah.
I have not delved into that space, but I imagine it just looks
Stay
like
away. You don't
I
want to
don't-
look
I
at
don't
Hulk,
get
the Hulk's big green veiny dick. You don't
Like I
want
said,
to
I
look
don't
at
get recommendations. If you
I
know
don't.
it,
My hero.
maybe. I don't know. I
Y'all niggas
don't.
is sick.
I don't need it.
I remember when the 50 Shades of Grey books came out,
whew,
and the fan fiction was better.
it's
than
the
the
fact
books.
that 50 Shades of Grey is fan fiction of Twilight for me.
Yes.
50 Shades is
I never read
Twilight
it.
fanfic turned
Well,
I
into
think
an
it's
actual
better when
book.
it's the blueprint had to come out first, where it's just like, oh, I can fix this. It's so
Except she
pretentious.
didn't
It's
fix
just like,
it. She made it
I
weird.
can fix this.
She,
You would never
yeah,
wrote
they
it. That
never
didn't
did.
come out.
She didn't
But she's
fix
still not. She's still not weirder than the Twilight lady, because she had a very, very strange obsession with Rob Pattinson
Did she?
because she was in love with Edward.
Oh, that
So
makes
she
sense.
was like very fixated on him, and he said it made him uncomfortable.
I
Like,
believe that. I believe that.
like, he looks uncomfortable.
He does.
He always
I
looks
will say-
uncomfortable. It's just his face.
And it was like, I guess she was there when they were like filming and stuff, and she would like say certain things should happen a certain way, and they were like, no.
Getting a little too involved there, ma'am, Miss Myers. And you know what's crazy? Everybody always talks about the Twilight like books and like how great they were. I'm like, Twilight is not her best work. The Host is better.
I've never read The Host.
The Host is outstanding. Like, I can reread The Host as an adult and not cringe, or not cringe that much, but like cringe way less than rereading Twilight, because Twilight is god awful. But like, The Host is really good.
Man, y'all
The
read some
movie's-
different.
I
y'all-
remember when I read Twilight.
Stuff
I
that
didn't
men
hate
read
it.
and women read are so different. Like
I
niggas
felt
don't
like it was
read.
just so much easier.
Niggas ain't reading that shit.
That's so funny, because the boyfriend I had at the time is the one who introduced me to Twilight.
I was gonna say, I distinctly
that's why he's
remember,
your
like,
ex,
in my
'cause
middle
he's
school
nigga was
reading
weird.
Twilight.
I am also niggas because I haven't read either one.
Honestly, you're not missing out on anything. You're not missing out
You're
on
not.
anything by not reading the Twilight series. I do recommend reading The Host just because it actually is pretty decent. But like, you're not missing out on anything
Yeah,
with
niggas
Twilight,
ain't, niggas
especially.
ain't reading that unless everyone in the like world has a book in their hand. I remember in high school, like you had the Zane books. I was like,
I
every
remember the
chick in
Zane.
high
Zane
school
books
had
never
one of those
did it for
books.
me.
I was like,
Zane
what the
books
fuck is
never
this
did it.
shit? And it was like, oh, this is pretty much just smut in the book. I was like, oh, okay.
I did.
Like
remember,
true to the game and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like,
These books are
everybody
kinda
else was
gangster.
reading Zane books, and I was reading Sherilyn Kenyon books because I like a good fantasy shapeshifter, ancient warrior that's jaded and has to be saved by his woman type
Oh
story.
damn, reading the Zane books is
That's different.
crazy.
I remember
This
when
is-
everyone was reading the Zane books, and that was around the same time that I found the urban section in the library that
Yerp.
I did not know exist. And I was like, this
Same
is
here.
so much better than Zane.
Zane.
Which
Right.
one was the one that got turned into a movie? That's the one I read.
I think they had an HBO series or something
Maybe it was
Of what?
something.
of Zane.
Oh no, I literally just never read Zane's books. I was never like I read bits and pieces of
They
them,
got
but
like
it
an
was
HBO
never.
series or something on Skinemax for a little bit.
Oh,
It was like Zane Chronicles
Oh,
or something.
oh yeah, it was on Skinamax.
Mm-hmm.
I
never
was like, oh,
interested.
finally some ebony titties I can find. Look at
What was the John? What's the famous
Like Paradise
Chronicle
Code,
novel?
Zane
the
Chronicles.
Chronicle now.
What's the famous hood?
True to the game.
To the game.
Coldest winter ever.
Yeah, all that. Pretty
Yeah, I
much.
ain't read none of those.
See, coldest winter ever will forever hit for me, but the other books in that series were such a flop. Like they just did not hold up. Winter was a cold piece. And like as much as you love, I forget what his name was in the book, but the guy that she had a huge crush on, he got his own book called Midnight. Oh, that was his name, Midnight. And his book was boring as hell. And then there was another book that talked about her sisters. That book was boring as hell. But the coldest winter ever, that John Winter was somebody until the very end.
Somebody.
You know, I also used to read Eric Jerome Dickey.
I feel like I know that
Never
name.
heard.
I was gonna say I know the name, but I don't.
They were romance novels, but they did get a couple of them got a little steamy.
I read so
It was
much.
addicted.
I was gonna say I'm actually in a group on Facebook that's it's an 18 plus smut recommendation book, a lot of which end up being on Kindle Unlimited, so I read a lot of them for free. And now I don't read regular romance novels. Everything is, or every once in a while I read a regular romance novel, but like the one I've been reading most recently is called Double Pucked. Or no, not Double Pucked, Pucking Around.
Wow.
Is it about
And
hockey?
it's a hockey story. It's a polyamory story. She's got 3
Hockey
boyfriends.
poly story. What the fuck?
Hockey poly story.
Hockey
She's got-
Polly.
She's got 3 boyfriends and got all 3 of them living in the same house, and they are all cool with it.
Type of nigga.
Canadian.
Right, but I do enjoy it.
You talking about finessing?
They be pucking.
They be pucking. To the point that I had to put the book down several times because I had secondhand coochie exhaustion. Like,
Oh, you was pucking while they was pucking.
Secondhand coochie
secondhand
exhaustion.
coochie exhaustion.
Nigga, what?
I was like, does she not get tired?
Exhaustion is crazy.
She was
That
taking
is
it so
fucking
much that I was
hilarious.
like, sis, you gotta be sore. You can't feel nothing no more. Like
From page 1 to page 130, just fingers just
oh, and it's
turning.
long. And it's long. It's got like 800 some odd pages.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So it's mostly smut.
And 90% she was just like, I'm just gonna twiddle.
I have a
and
question.
Twiddle these pages.
I might have an
I
answer.
don't read this kind of stuff too much. When you are consuming this material, do you take breaks and puck yourself?
Depends on how good it is, because some of it is well written and does make me kind of want to go, and then some of it I just kind of read and I'm like,
It's just good like story, just like watching like a good movie with a love scene.
yeah. Like one of them I read recently, I forget what the name of it was, but it was about a hot doctor, and she accidentally ended up getting pregnant with his baby, and the smut scenes in it were cool, but really I was reading that one for the plot, to the point that the storyline in it actually brought me to tears. Yeah, like that. I was like, oh, it's smutty, but like, no, this one actually has some like
This shit is
heartbreaking. Yeah. So like
Okay.
that was so like that, like sometimes I'm reading for actual plot, sometimes I'm reading for smut with some plot. Like oh, I forgot what the series is called, but this one was written by a Black woman, and it's like a 5 or 6 book series, and it's about an alien invasion that happens on Earth, and then it follows the characters like over time as they're combating this invasion or whatever. And she's got POC female leads, like 3 out of, it's a 5-book series, 3 out of the 5 are women of color, 2 of which are Black, 1 is Asian. And it like, so it's alien stuff, but it's like they're humanoid aliens for the most part, so like but it's aliens. So like I got that one I followed for the plot. Like the first book was good enough, the smut was okay, but like it really was the plot pulling me through the series. So it just depends. Sometimes
Okay.
it's the plot, sometimes it's the smut, and
What
sometimes
about
it's
you,
both.
Lala? You
Okay.
fucking off?
I don't. There's only I think it was only one time where I read one that made me be like, maybe I should go.
Take
Just
care of
I'll
this.
have a moment by myself.
take care of this. There was but no, I don't. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I write it
Mhm.
I do too.
and I don't to my own either.
You write it? Can we like read an excerpt on the show one time when you're not here? We
When
just
I'm not here,
yeah, because I'm sure your face is gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're reading this out loud."
Alex,
But I would love to read an excerpt.
I
I
have
don't
published
have any fanfics. It's all original.
You published something, Pinky?
fanfics on the internet.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
give me the link and we'll read one. We'll have a story time.
Also, I
And-
have questions on where that's published because after that show, Lala, I asked if I could write one and have it entered in the show. I haven't finished it, but I did start writing it, and I'll be writing spicy messages. I'm pretty good at sexting and like talking with people that I'm engaging with, but I'm also like a pretty decent writer, and so I want to put that somewhere. So I would love to know about where that's at.
Yes, Archive of Our Own is one of the best sites out
Archive
there
of Our
right now.
Own?
I'll send you links. It's one of the best sites out there right now for fan fiction. And
Okay.
the most commonly read and well-reviewed like fanfic that I have is My Hero Academia Todoroki smut.
Fucking knew it. My hero Negroes.
That was excellent.
Excellent.
I posted
Yeah, that
that
came
fanfic.
right on time.
It did.
Please tell me it's like a femboy thing.
No,
Is
no,
it-
no, 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 no. No, it's not. And I don't really femboy stuff is not too much my like it's my thing, but like not my thing. Like I don't
Okay.
write and post that. But like no, it's a one shot, it's smutty, it's romantic, it's not my best writing because there are certain things that I would go back and change about it, but I just haven't. But I posted it like 4 or 5 years ago. And to this day, I still get kudos and like people like this is really good and like I'm like, oh, thank you.
All right,
But
so
yeah.
who is Todoroki fucking in this?
Oh,
An
no,
original
huh?
An original character.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. No,
It's
we're
not
gonna
between-
have to save it. We're gonna have to read
I was gonna
it.
say it's not between him and another character. It's between an original character that I have. So
Nice.
Alright. 'Cause it was just like Todoroki knocking off the recovery girl or something. That's fucking wild.
yikes.
You have a crazy ass
Not
imagination.
recovery, girl.
Not
The one-
recovery girl.
the one that I
Recovery
started
girl,
writing-
she can make you keep going just after each kiss.
Oh,
She keeps you going.
y'all seen that?
Like,
meme
no,
about
no, no,
Qatar
no,
and
That's
the
not how
blood-
her quirk works.
Y'all
It
seen that
can
one
work
about
however you want it to
Qatar
work in
and the
fan
blood
fiction.
It can.
So
That's
what?
the worst part.
Have you seen the meme about Qatar and the blood bending?
Oh yes, yes I have. Yes, I have.
No.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it, and they are correct, but it's not something you wouldn't think about.
Don't tell me blood bending in the dick. That's oh shit.
She fucking on a full moon.
This car is
Fast
the
and
timing
Furious.
of.
Fast and Furious for sure.
Fast and Furious.
Too
Well,
fast.
I can tell you that Star Wars fan fiction is one of the greatest stuff.
So
I actually
that's
have-
what I was about to say. The one I started writing is about Mandalorians.
Oh,
Yeah. The
I can
Star
make a
Wars universe
recommendation.
is so massive. You can just
I was
make
gonna say I
about
can make a
anything.
recommendation for a fan fiction author who writes. She writes Star Wars, but she also writes a lot of other stuff. So like I personally love her Naruto stuff. But she has a lot of like Mandalorian. She has a lot of like Clone Wars, like Star Wars stuff. She's been on a Star Wars kick for a long time now, and her stuff is exceptional. So I can make that recommendation for you. I was like, what is? Gosh,
Sweet.
and she's on Archive of Our Own. So I'll drop some links in the group chat for everybody.
We're about to start reading, folks.
Love that for you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I get on there. College ruined a lot of reading for me. And
Being an adult ruined reading in general.
I used to read a lot. I used to be, the classic bookworm. But once I got to college, I was kind of over it. I didn't really read for leisure anymore after that.
College does that every single time.
Not me.
Now that I think about it, I did not read for pleasure in college.
It just kind of
I was too busy
like
reading
I know
bullshit.
I used to read so many books back to back to back.
I used to devour
a
them.
year, I would just breeze through them, and then when you start having to read and you don't have time to read for leisure, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm done.
Or like if I
I'd rather
did
watch
read
anime.
stuff, it would be fan fiction. I would read it on my phone, but it would be like at weird hours of the night because I had insomnia. So like there still
Read
wasn't
something to put you to sleep.
joy in it.
Mhm.
Like I didn't really start reading for pleasure until after I graduated college.
Yeah, me, I was like Gaston and Beauty and the Beast was like, books? What the fuck is this? Get out of here.
I was wondering where that
hold on,
analogy was
let's
going.
further say Gaston was not the villain in Beauty and the Beast. This is further-
Then who was the villain?
How was he the villain?
He was trying to kill him.
Whoa. You trying to say Belle?
He wasn't trying to save her. That was an ego trip to kill the beast.
I think you need to watch that movie again because he was trying to do the
One
right
could say
No,
from
she
his
wanted
perspective,
to
he
be
was right.
saved, though. But did she want
Also,
to be
Belle
saved?
wanted to be saved.
So you're gonna live with the.
Belle also had Stockholm
Did she
syndrome.
say,
He
guess
was trying to get her father committed so that
was.
she would have no one to take care
Was her
of her,
dad not
and then
crazy?
he would be the one.
He
to
wasn't
take care of her.
crazy. Her dad wasn't crazy, and Gaston literally like there's a
Well,
point in the
that's the
movie
perspective
where he's
because
like,
we all
you know
knew that,
what?
but they didn't.
He's
Right.
like, I'll kill the beast for glory and for the girl. Like he literally was out to do it for himself. He did not give a
Gaston
damn.
was
No,
out
that
for
was
a
just
job,
chivalry.
okay? That was chivalry back then.
That was
you know what I
French
mean?
chivalry.
Now listen, Gaston was not the villain, but the nigga from Hunchback of Notre Dame, that was the villain. See, it's two different perspectives. He's the one at the yams, but
Are you talking about Froyo in Hunchback of Notre Dame?
He's beating his back in because he couldn't. Yeah, I mean, have sex.
I mean, he was the villain
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Are you talking about the blonde guy? He wasn't
No,
the villain?
the Froyo was the villain. We know this. Gaston wasn't the villain. It's just
Gaston
two
was the
different
villain.
perspectives.
He was the villain.
Actually, Gaston was one of the villains because you know who was
He
the
wasn't
real
the
villain? You know who the
The
real villain
witch.
was? Yes, the witch was the real villain. Because why are you punishing a child for being rude? And punish them
And
for
then-
years.
Everyone else who just happened to be in the castle at that time.
Hello?
Gaston wasn't the villain. There we go.
Gaston was
We just
one of the
solved
villains,
it.
but he was not
He
the
was
original
definitely the
villain.
villain. He was definitely the villain.
He wasn't the villain. Listen,
He
Cruella
was
villain.
one of them. There
The
were two
villain.
in that particular story.
We can name 10 villains.
I
that
would
were
definitely
the
say
villain.
Quill is a bigger villain than Gaston, though.
Exactly. If you put,
What
if
if
you
we use
if you
the
put-
word
Was she?
antagonist?
She
Why
wanted
did
to
he-
kill puppies.
What
get
if
him,
we use the
drown him,
word
poison him.
antagonist?
I don't
She
care
didn't
how
want
you
to
do
kill
it.
him. She just wanted the fur.
Because
Skin
Gaston
him,
was an
crown
antagonist.
him.
They were
Peter
both-
is coming
I
after
don't
you,
care how
Lala.
you do
Watch
it.
what you say. Peter will
Unfa-
get you.
I was gonna say, I'm not on your side on this one, La. Cruella was the villain.
She was
Very
a
much
a
so.
villain.
He was fashionable.
If you do a villain,
Fashionable, but a
if you do a
villain.
tier list for villainy in Disney, Gaston will be at the lowest point.
Gaston was.
All I wanna
let's
say
say
is-
villain.
That
Let's say
Cruella went through the
antagonist.
proper means of collecting those 101 Dalmatians, and they stole them from her.
She
She
didn't.
was
She stole those
scalping
puppies.
puppies.
You're really trying to
She
start this
kidnapped those
debate.
puppies. She didn't go
I've
to
never
the
seen
right
somebody
lane.
fight for Cruella the villain. This is crazy.
Right, I've never seen anyone defend Cruella like that.
I was okay.
It
I'll
makes
say
me
this:
so sad of
Gaston
them.
on a ranking of Disney villains, no, Gaston is not very high. But it's not because he wasn't a villain. It's because he was stupid. He didn't do any planning. All he did was rile up a mob.
That's some villainous shit.
It
No,
is,
it's not.
but it's not.
No.
It's not.
You
too
told me
far
his
level villain.
charisma is villainy? That's crazy.
That's
He's
not
an
charisma.
antagonist. I wouldn't call him a villain, but he's an antagonist.
Definitely a villain.
Well,
That's
yeah,
fair.
if-
You
I
know,
would,
he had
I would
murderous
definitely give an
intent
antagonist title
Of the
than being
main
the villain.
character, and he was a jackass. Was he a villain? No.
No.
People
I feel like there's a
people
certain
like
level-
Cruella are villains, killing puppies to make clothes.
But she didn't
There's a
actually
certain
kill no
level of-
puppies.
She didn't kill those
She
puppies.
couldn't get a chance
What's
to.
the
That's
where does
Like-
her coat come
like-
from?
Right. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
she's
had
up there
a
with
coat.
Scar.
She
Like-
had other
Yeah,
animals.
had
she's like type
Benjamin.
A.
She had
Dirty
Go
work.
on.
okay, she had
She's a
all
villain.
of them animals,
She
and
had a
she
lair.
said, "You know what? I want Dalmatians." She never got them.
She never got those Dalmatians. Again,
Right.
where did
She
the
never
crap
had none.
come from?
she
Where
could have
did-
gotten other
Other
Dalmatians.
animals. Other
And she
animals.
was
She-
buy
she-
him.
she-
Other
I-
animals,
I-
villain.
You know, I have to commend Live for omitting the intent of getting those Dalmatians. I commend you for your trolling. This is amazing trolling, but you're omitting the intent of getting those Dalmatians to make clothes out of them. I commend
bill
you
of
for
sale.
what you're trying
It's
to
also
They
do.
wasn't, they
That's
weren't
what
even
sold
going
those
to be
puppies.
puppies by the time they got their spots.
She
Damn.
stole the puppies. Like,
Mm-mm-mm.
but
Rumpelstiltskin stole a baby.
actually, he got that through a contract. But
Legal binding.
That was a shady
No, she can
contract.
If you take Rumpelstiltskin to Judge Judy, he would still have that baby.
Rumpelstiltskin. But
it was a shady contract, but it was a legally binding contract. Like,
It was a 360 deal, but it was legalized.
like
What are we talking
Ursula.
about?
Ursula had a shady
A
contract.
360 deal.
Yeah, I
But
don't
it
think
was a
Ursula
legal
was
contract.
bad. I don't think Ursula was a villain at all.
No, Ursula was the villain, but not because of the contract. Ursula was the villain because she violated the contract first. Had she not violated the contract first, she would not be the villain
Gotta read the terms
How,
and
how did
conditions.
she violate it?
because she interfered. There was
All right,
not unless
she's
There
probably
was
gonna
nothing
say
in the contract that said that she wasn't.
I was gonna say
probably
we don't know the clauses
Maleficent
of the
wasn't a
contract. The
villain
way that the
either,
contract was
but-
written
Right,
on
we-
the surface, it looks like Ursula violated the contract.
I think she was just like, "We're gonna make this a little bit harder for you."
I'm gonna
But
go
there
ahead
was
and
magic
give Ursula
involved.
villain.
Like-
Ursula's
She's
the
gonna make
villain.
this a little bit
Her
harder.
intent. Her
I was gonna say if
intent.
Ursula
Now you
hadn't,
now you playing on the hardest level.
Her intent.
Like,
No.
I'm not gonna make it easy.
if she hadn't bewitched him with magic and she just like seduced him with her body, then yes, I would.
Well, she
I would 100%
seduced him
agree.
with Ariel's voice.
No, she used magic, not her voice, because she had that man
She did.
hypnotized.
The voice was in the
Mhm.
magic shell.
She had him hypnotized beyond that though,
But I'm
because Ariel's voice
saying
couldn't.
she used
Ariel's
Ariel's
voice couldn't
voice.
hypnotize
I mean,
him.
really, what next? Hades not a villain either.
Hades is
I
definitely.
mean, he's
I mean,
really
he's
like
the devil, so I know you're not fixing him off to say
no,
that
he was
he's
just
not a
doing
villain.
his job.
He's
He
legit.
was
He's
doing
legit
his
the devil.
job.
no, he wasn't. He was plotting to
Because he didn't like his
take
job.
over. He waited
If all the
18.
gods get to hang out in Mount Olympus all day and clocking shit, why he gotta be down
Because
in the
you
underworld by
remember what he
himself
did to
with
get down there in the
dog?
first place.
No, Zeus did cut him a raw deal. Zeus did cut him a bad
Exactly.
deal, but it was the
Exactly.
fact that he was plotting
Zeus out
to
there fucking
overthrow
humans and
everybody.
shit. Zeus is the real villain.
Nick-
Zeus is the real villain.
You're
Niggas
a god. Why
niggas
are
got
you
rewatch
fucking
Disney
humans?
movies. I see, but that's it. That's neither here nor there.
Lore Olympus is is Greek mythology fan fiction that's well written and has been serialized at this point.
I'm pretty sure Aphrodite getting plowed in numerous.
It doesn't focus on Aphrodite that much. She does appear in the later chapters, and she gets with Hephaestus, which we love, because this version of Hephaestus actually loves and cares for her, which is great. And this version of Hades is actually really loving. It's constantly going to be fuck Apollo.
So when does Kratos show up? That's all.
Actually,
That's what I
Kratos.
care about.
No, not Kratos, but I was gonna say what's Zeus and Hades' father's name?
Atlas.
No, not Atlas.
Zeus is dead.
He's a whatever was before
You know,
the
the
gods.
Titans?
Yeah, he's a
No,
Titan.
not the
Atlas
Titans.
is
They
Titan.
weren't called Titans. They were called something else. I forget. But anyways, he's a villain in him, Zeus, and Apollo are all villains in Lore Olympus. Lore Olympus is the only version of Athena that I can sort of kind of stand. Every other version of her that I've ever read, I hate. Because she's a bitch.
Most of the gods are though.
Most of them are, but like Athena is a spectacular version of bitch, like higher than the high of bitch. I don't like her in any iteration that like Lord Olympus is the only iteration that I can somewhat stand her in, and even then, she rubs me the wrong way at times.
Because you know, it's like because I know you.
I know you. I know what you're capable of.
I know you. I know you will.
Like Lord Olympus makes her a little more innocent, a little more, and then she's still like she's still complicit in some BS, which pisses me off. And she tries to play victim in it, and I'm like that. I don't like that because I know you. Gaslighting.
You know what, Cam? I think you have an idea for your show next time. Top 10 Disney villains.
There you go.
We'll rank them.
You gotta rank them, but you have to make sure Cruella de Vil is definitely top 5.
Scar's up there. Jafar's up there.
Maleficent.
Was Scar really a villain though? Or was he
Come
taking back his birthright?
We had to stop.
Even start. You're going to end this
brother. He killed his brother and he set up his nephew to die.
His parents neglected and abused him emotionally and verbally when he was a young cub. He was
it's just Othello. It doesn't change the fact that he's still a bad guy.
Scar's a literal name, like it means like something like trash.
His real name is like Taka or something, which translates in Swahili to trash. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, his parents scarred him from the day he was born. He was mentally and emotionally abused and neglected as a cub. It's not his fault that he grew up.
He's top 5.
He killed, and then he was injured. He received an injury at the fault of Mufasa. Because of Mufasa's fuck shit, he got injured by a water buffalo, and that's where he got his scar from, and that's why he's not as strong. So it's all his family named him the monster that he became.
We're not even gonna go.
He is a product of his nurturing.
Because if you look in actual nature, like the darker maned lions are supposed to be stronger.
They are.
But he's
still the villain. Because after he won, we ran the kingdom into the trash.
If you set someone up to die, that is murder. That makes you the bad guy.
We can be one of the most
was it murder or was it justice?
We can do
we
that.
Can actually be one of the most successful out of the villains.
We can do that long as
justice is if Pride Rock happened to fall over and smash Mufasa. He threw this nigga off a cliff.
Right.
A random act of God does not count as justice.
That is justice.
That is not an act of God.
You are not the hand of justice.
Who says? This is Serengeti. Who says? That's the next line.
There's also the admission of guilt. Are you serious?
He became a vigilante.
Who became a vigilante?
I'm saying that's the only way he could get a pass. If he was the hand of justice, because vigilantes, they always take justice into their own hands. They go out and they do the justice, right? So if he was a vigilante, he could be counted as an anti-hero and not a villain. But he was not a vigilante. He killed his brother and he tried to kill his nephew.
And for why? He in the position he was in, he had a cream of the crop. He could get any lioness he wanted. He could eat as much as he wanted. Like, he could chill as much as he wanted. And that wasn't enough.
It was abuse of power. He became a tyrant.
All I'm saying, if we do this list, Ratagon is in the top 5.
Who?
And everybody's showing their age. But it's fine.
Please tell me.
Ratagon. Is that from...
You're talking about
Great Mouse Detective.
Great Mouse
Detective. Movie I haven't seen in years.
Rat the guy. It's a rat with a pet cat as an enforcer. What are we talking about?
Sounds like a New York sewer rat to me.
And he had a suit on.
Yeah.
That was all.
As I said, a New York sewer rat and/or subway rat.
What rat you know with a boss with that boss around the cat?
You been in the subway in New York?
Well,
Pizza rat.
I don't know the hierarchy in New York because fuck New York. Even though it's the pigeons over the rats or the rats going in the Civil War with
pigeons are victims. All of the pigeons that are currently in the United States are victims of neglect and abandonment.
God. Okay, guys, we're going to end the show tonight. Thanks for watching us go off the rails as we do every week. Because this is what we do here on this show.
We was infiltrated with lantern flies, and now New York is, and I love it. Suffer. We don't got landing flies nowhere. They all within New York and fuck on y'all.
Oh no, they've
Pigeons are victims, and next week I will make my
I feel
argument
like
as to why
five
they are
so far.
victims.
No, the hell you will not. Do not start to prepare a case for pigeons.
Too late.
I'm with it. I wholeheartedly concur.
I have a pigeon soapbox. I am team pigeon.
But I don't feed them.
No, I don't feed them.
Yeah,
but I
I
am
wonder
team
why that
pigeon.
would be.
They should
Well,
have.
since you're back on the show, go
For
ahead.
now, promote it. You can find me on most platforms at pinkdreams_senpai or pinky senpai or some type of something pink dream senpai. Look for me, you'll find me.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
And it's your girl Lala Is So Random. Don't forget to see you guys can catch me on all social media platforms at Lala Is So Random. If the name's not there, neither am I. I will be here on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays I'm on What It Sound Like, and Fridays Honey and Coco's coming back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, everybody. Jiggly Senpai 3 on the platforms that I'm on. Just check out my Instagram. You'll find all the stuff that I do.
There you go. And of course, me, Twitch, Instagram, The Carty Experience. Don't forget Bae-Chan After Dark on Twitter, because we are also there too. And you can catch me on the Unicorn Podcast on Thursdays as well. Thanks for coming on, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Skipping Cam?
Right.
Oh, did
Oh,
we
yeah.
skip Cam?
Okay.
Man, fuck.
I'm saying this log off.
Can't skip the blurred cartel.
I know. Oh, well, you know what? You said it, and that had me thinking I already had it up there. And there we go. Well, this is just Instagram. Where
You
you
want
all
to.
your stuff? There we go. I gotta delete some of these things. There's way too many on here.
If you want to,
Organize them. Or let me in, I'll organize them.
Yeah, I'll get
that's
to
probably
it.
even the wrong IG. But the TikTok's there, so if you want to,
Oh
There
no,
we go.
the IG is wrong.
the IG's probably dead
Oh,
wrong.
goodness.
Damn.
If it's wrong, it's been wrong for
a long
months.
I
Or
I
years.
know.
I have tagged that and tagged the wrong person.
Ooh.
Oh, you tag somebody. It ain't.
Mm.
You
I'll
tag
work it
me.
out. I'll
you
work
didn't
it out.
tag the wrong. Blur Cartel. It's all one word now.
It's all one word.
It's just Blur Cartel.
There we go. That's us in another show. Bye, everybody.